What's up everyone, it's Dylan, and today I'm genuinely excited to walk you through what we've been building lately. I really want to show you the latest progress on the captioning and auto-editing features inside Vizard. This tool is designed to drastically change how you repurpose your long-form content into short-form gold. So first thing I did in my process was to export just the raw audio track from my main editing project. That process itself is super simple, literally just a couple of clicks to get the file. Then, I popped that exported audio file directly into the Vizard application interface. Once it was loaded in, I picked one of our local transcription models available right there. After selecting the model, I just hit the continue button to let the magic begin. And honestly, I have to say the speed at which it processed everything was incredibly snappy. For a full 8-minute video clip, it took only about 30 seconds to transcribe the entire thing. That is not bad at all for getting your raw text generated and ready for work. You will notice now that we actually have a couple of distinct model options available for transcription. One option is specifically geared towards faster transcription if your goal is rapid content churning. The alternative model leans heavily toward higher accuracy for when you truly need near-perfect captions. This choice lets you balance speed against precision based on the immediate needs of your project. Moving on to one of the small but incredibly important features we added, frame rate matching. If your editing timeline is set precisely to 23.98 frames per second, make sure Vizard is set to that same exact number. Doing this guarantees that the captions and any automated cuts will align perfectly on your NLE timeline. We make sure to give you all the usual frame rate options so you don't have to think too hard about conversions. Little details like this really do matter a lot when you are dropping these clips into Premiere or Final Cut later on. We've also, of course, kept all the text preferences you have come to expect from us. This includes easy access to change the font, the overall size, and the spacing between lines. But I have personally been experimenting with color a bunch today, trying out some bolder tones. I attempted to pick this really deep, saturated red color for the text styling. Unfortunately, the color picker tool was being a little bit finicky at that specific moment. Heads up to the development team. The color picker sometimes struggles with hiding behind other UI elements, which we will definitely fix. For the time being, I just left the text style set to plain white because I needed to focus on layout and timing first. The new title settings area we've introduced is proving to be pretty useful for fine-tuning the look. There is a specific option now for setting the maximum number of words allowed to appear on any single line. By default, this was set intentionally super low as a safety measure for shorter screens. I went ahead and bumped that maximum setting up to 6 words so more text can comfortably fit on one line. Then you have the crucial setting for the maximum allowed number of lines in a single caption block. This was set to 1 initially, which was the primary cause of those very awkward mid-sentence line breaks. I immediately cranked that value up to 4 lines so that longer sentences no longer chop themselves up in strange ways. You can actually scrub through your footage visually to see how each caption is going to look as you tweak those numbers. Positioning the text block on the screen is also surprisingly easy to manage with our latest updates. You can simply drag the vertical Y value slider to move the entire caption block smoothly up or down. I personally nudged mine down by about -300 units to place it in a less cluttered section of the frame. Even just a tiny bit of manual adjustment in this area goes a surprisingly long way toward polishing the final product. It really helps ensure your captions look like they truly belong and were intentionally placed in the scene. Now, I do need to call out one current limitation that exists in this specific release cycle. The timing for each individual piece of text is currently fixed strictly based on the auto-transcription timing. You can clearly see all the timecodes associated with each caption displayed for reference. However, the feature that allows manual editing of those precise start and end times isn't available in this version yet. Please know that manual timecode editing is definitely on the active roadmap for a future release. I guarantee it. Our main goal was to get this functional, basic version into people's hands for immediate use first. Okay, let's talk about opening the generated files inside your main editing software, like Final Cut or Adobe Premiere. The process for importing is incredibly straightforward once you have the file ready. You might encounter a small warning dialog box upon opening, which isn't super helpful at this stage, but you can easily click through it. Vizard takes care of packaging everything neatly into either a project file or a standard SRT file for you. It will then automatically attempt to open or import that resulting package directly into your chosen NLE. Once the new project structure is successfully created inside your editor, the fastest workflow begins. You can simply select all the copy title elements and paste them directly onto your main timeline. This entire copy-paste workflow is remarkably fast and keeps your creative momentum rolling without any major stops. I also absolutely want to take a moment to show off the preset styles because they are genuinely fun to experiment with. We have a variety of pre-built styles available, including some retro-looking captions and some very clean broadcast styles. Beyond those, we also built in a few other styles that include subtle motion built into the text itself. I recently dropped a specific focus blur style over a short time-lapse clip, and the result looked incredibly slick. That gentle blur effect really accentuates the text nicely, without ever feeling too in your face or overwhelming. These ready-made presets are seriously handy if you are aiming for a consistent visual theme across many uploads. It saves you from having to manually fiddle with every single text setting every single time you start a new video. We all know vertical videos are commanding more and more attention from audiences online lately. So I switched the canvas setting over to a standard vertical aspect ratio to test it out. The first thing I noticed immediately was that the edges of the text were getting slightly cut off on the sides. The quick manual fix available right now involves increasing the maximum allowed lines. You also need to simultaneously lower the set value for words per line to compensate for the height. I will admit, it's not a perfect solution yet, as longer words can sometimes still overflow the boundaries. Vertical social clips are inherently tricky because text density and the aspect ratio completely change how the text wraps. We are already deep in planning stages for implementing much better, smarter auto-wrapping logic in a future release. Another essential feature I want to highlight is the ability to export clean, compliant SRT files. This functionality is super useful if your specific distribution workflow requires standard closed captions for compliance. I exported a sample SRT file from a project and then imported that directly into my Final Cut timeline. It dropped in seamlessly with all those platform-safe settings automatically applied, which is exactly what we wanted. That includes the required placement at the very bottom of the screen for standard viewing. It also enforces a solid black bar behind the text to ensure maximum contrast and readability. The system also applies the strict formatting that platforms like YouTube and traditional broadcast media strictly require. That level of built-in compliance is completely intentional, designed to let you generate platform-safe SRTs incredibly fast using Vizard. Now, I really want to be completely transparent and real with you for just a moment about the current landscape. There are certainly other tools available out there in the market right now. Some of those specialized tools are fantastic at things like manual keyframing and designing fancy social templates. I have to give them that. But the drawback is that those features are often quite expensive and demand a significant amount of slow, hands-on time from the user. Then you have the other category of basic tools that will transcribe your audio, but they fail on the automation side. With those services, you are still stuck manually chopping up all of your source footage yourself to create the short clips. Vizard is intentionally designed to sit in that incredibly valuable sweet spot between those two extremes of functionality. It automatically detects those proven high engagement moments in your footage, so you never have to waste time hunting for the viral segments. After detection, it generates fully captioned clips that are ready for immediate posting across your channels. The crucial part is that it then allows you to push those ready clips directly into a content calendar for automatic scheduling. For any serious creator who needs to maintain high volume without sacrificing any creative quality, that pipeline is a massive advantage. When compared to those massive heavy-duty professional editing suites, Vizard is significantly more affordable for handling batch work efficiently. And when you compare it to the cheap, single-purpose transcription services, Vizard provides the entire remaining pipeline. That means the editing, the styling templates, and the publishing schedule are all integrated into one cohesive space. Other apps might do one single task exceptionally well and nothing else, but we are building Vizard to be the one place you prep, polish, and publish. We do need to call out a couple of the minor software quirks we are actively ironing out in the current build. Sometimes the captions do not look perfectly centered inside the small editor preview window during live editing. The good news, however, is that when you actually import the final file into your NLE, it aligns perfectly as intended. We have already logged that visual discrepancy, and our engineering team will smooth out that preview display very soon. Also, we agree that some of the little informational warning dialogues could definitely use clearer and more concise language. Rest assured, the development team is already actively working on refining the messaging within those important pop-ups too. Now, let's quickly look forward to the future because I am personally most hyped about some upcoming features. The first major upgrade I'm excited for is one word at a time captioning functionality. Imagine each spoken word popping on screen sequentially, just like a real-time karaoke effect. That style is proven to be incredibly engaging, especially when targeting very short-form content consumption. Another huge planned upgrade involves automatic width adjustment for the main text block. This means the caption block will intelligently adapt its size based on your video dimensions without user input. You won't have to constantly fiddle with those manual width and height sliders anymore. We also have firm plans for adding many more granular text preferences for ultimate creative control. This will include stylistic options like subtle text outlines, crisp drop shadows, and soft outer glows. We're also adding more animated entrance and exit styles to make the text pop even more effectively. Basically, we are building in a bunch of nice aesthetic niceties so your social captions feel custom without any manual labor. Let's circle back to the distribution side for a moment, specifically the content calendar. You can actually set your desired posting frequency right within the application scheduling tools. Then, the AI takes over to line up those generated clips week after week for consistent output. This set it and forget it approach has been an absolute game changer for my own workflow. I can trust that a steady drip of new content keeps going out consistently, even when I'm busy. That sustained, automated content flow absolutely beats manually uploading every single clip at random times. And remember, if you spot something you want to change before it goes live, you can easily edit any clip right there in the calendar view. The entire philosophy behind shipping this simpler version right now was to get it into creators' hands as quickly as possible. We truly want you to use it, deliberately try to break it, and tell us exactly what is most annoying. Your direct, unfiltered feedback is what powers our iterative improvement process. Also, just so you know, the revenue generated from this early access version goes directly back into engineering more features. That funding helps us prioritize things like better manual caption timing control for everyone. It also goes into developing smarter automated editing suggestions and expanding those extra social media templates. Ultimately, it helps us build more integrations with other professional editing software you already use. I still personally need to sit down and put together a fully polished demonstration video. That demo will be a thorough step-by-step tutorial showing the path from long-form source footage to scheduled short clips. But honestly, the core functionality is getting incredibly close to where we want it to be. I am currently aiming to push out a small update sometime next week. That next push will primarily include a few critical bug fixes and some minor user experience enhancements. If you do get a chance to try Vizard out, please drop any feedback you have into the comments section below. Alternatively, you can always shoot us a direct message with your thoughts and suggestions. Specifically, tell us which new templates you really want to see added next. Also, let us know which platforms you publish to most often so we can prioritize integration there. Most importantly, what part of your current editing workflow feels like the absolute biggest time suck? Those specific insights are what truly guide our development priorities moving forward. Thank you all so much for following along with this development journey so far. If you are creating tons of long-form content and want a much smarter way to repurpose it into short-form gold, definitely give Vizard a serious shot. It is definitely not 100% perfect in its current iteration, that's true. But even now, it already cuts down my personal video editing time dramatically, which is the main goal. Alright everyone, take care of yourselves for now. I hope you have an absolutely awesome and productive weekend ahead. And until the next update, happy editing to you all. Catch you in the next video very soon.